We're continuing on with our theme of birds, and we should each have a canvas board or a stretch canvas, and we need a pencil and paper plates, a variety of colors of acrylic paints. Let's see, we need water and paper toweling, all of the usual supplies that we use when we are working with acrylic paints. So we're going to work on the background first, and this will be, several steps, because as you know, we need to let the acrylic paints dry before we put on another layer. And we're going to divide this background up into, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 different sections. So we're going to do kind of a slightly curved line here, and I will use my marker so you can see. All right, and then we are going to divide this up, and this is a picture kind of a bird looking up at a flower in front of 2 houses, but it's just kind of the impression of that. It's not like we're going to, and this line here is going to form the stem on our sunflower. Here, so we've got one that's a pretty straight up and down, as though it's a building. Okay, and then we're going to do one that is slightly curved, because like I said, it's going to end up being, we're going to put our sunflower right in here. So we're just going to go like that, and I'll show you how it's going to kind of form the stem in a little bit. Okay, and then eventually the bird template that I provided to you will be down here and the flower up here. Okay, so let's get our paints out. And for this background, we can use our larger paintbrush. Oh, my cat decided to come up and sit on my lap while I'm painting, which is always fun. She likes it. So if you see a tail whipping around, let's see. I've got some blue here. Well, I'm not sure I have enough of that blue, so let me go with a different color blue. I can add a little bit of white to it. This is a little darker than what I wanted to use. Now you can make it, green if you want down here, like the bird sitting on the grass, or you can kind of mess with logic and make it bluegrass, which kind of works since we're in Kentucky, eh? Okay, so we need to wet our brush so you can see. And I'm gonna just kind of loosely paint it. Make sure you get over the edges a little bit. Ah, yes, Wawa, you put a hair into my paint. That's okay. Gives it texture, right? Okay, Now I'm going to let that dry and then come back with more of an aqua. So we'll let that dry. So now you can move your canvas around, and again, you can paint these whatever you want. This is going to be kind of a pastel sort of look to this. You can be pretty loose with your painting, just have fun. Make sure you clean out your brush well. And then I think I'm going to go over this with a, even while it's wet, with a little bit of a pink. Doesn't need to be a completely solid color. And then I'm going to go with, so this is like one building, this is going to be another building, this is going to be the space in between. So I'm going to make it on brown. You're probably going to have to clean out your water every so often with this, because acrylic paints, you just need to change it out a little bit more often. So I'm putting just a little darker brown over this. And then I'm going to use a darker green over here. There we go. Needed to add some water. Now we are going to put our flower over here. So I'm just going to do a first coat. All right, so I'm all dry here and we're ready to start putting on the details, which is the fun part. So you can take your bird template, or if you want to draw your own bird, that's fine too, and trace around it with pencil. I'm going to do the marker. You don't need to do the marker, but I'm going to do the marker so you can see it. So just do the outside, and then we're going to put some legs on it, and the legs are going to go right off the bottom. Okay, so you want the bird at an angle enough so that it looks like it's looking at the flower. Okay, and then we're going to do a sunflower. Oh, did you see the cat tail? She's in big love mode. So we're going to do a little different shape on the center. Now, where you position this, we're going to do kind of a rectangle with rounded corners. Where you position it you want it to be, because this is going to be the stem. So it goes right along there. Okay. And then we're going to have the petals, and we're going to do the petals just a little differently than we have in the past. We're going to not have them touching the inside. And you don't want to make them all the same, because if you look at a regular sunflower, there's some that are larger than others, skinnier than others, sort of like people. And have some sort of drooping down a little bit more. And one kind of straddling the, there you go. Okay, and then of course you need a leaf. Make a nice big leaf. And there we go. Okay, so we're going to work on the bird and the flower first, and I guess I'm going to make it a red bird. We'll make it a cardinal since we're in Kentucky and that's the state. Bird. So we'll put a little bit out. Now, I'm not going to make the beak red, just the rest of it. My brush is already damp, so now, because I used the black marker, it's going to be a little more difficult to cover up the background because those black lines will be showing through. But since you just used pencil, you shouldn't have a problem with that. You can decide if you need 2 coats or just 1. Make sure you let it dry if you decide to do 2 coats. I'm just going to do 1 coat because of the fact that there's no way I'm going to get those to be lines to disappear. All right. So when you're done with that, we'll switch to another color. And we will do I'm hesitating. I don't think I want to do the beak